What is the best sounding acoustic guitar to play live? What guitar sounds best plugged in? Is it this new Fender Acoustasonic Jazzmaster? Or is it a traditional acoustic guitar, a Gibson or a Martin? Let's have a shootout. Alright, the purpose of this video is just to compare guitars plugged in directly. So I'm not going to mic up the acoustics for you to hear how they would traditionally sound. We're just going to focus on how they would sound plugged straight into a direct box like a gigging musician. So I am now recording this guitar plugged straight into the computer with no fancy effects or anything. It's just a straight direct line so you can hear what it might sound like. This guitar has all kinds of nifty settings. It's supposed to be able to emulate a bunch of other guitars. So right now I'm going to dial up my favorite setting, which is a Rosewood Dreadnought guitar. Pretty tasty, huh? So, if you plug this thing in direct and you try to record or perform live, you've got one channel that's supposed to sound like a really good acoustic guitar. But guess what? I actually have two other real Dreadnought guitars here. So we're going to figure out which one sounds best. Is this thing up to snuff or not? Let's take a look. Here we have a made in 2000 Gibson J-45 Standard. Pretty sought after guitar. It's all mahogany. Pretty juicy. Okay, I'm going to play the exact same thing, and we're going to see how this compares. Alright, so this is a pretty standard guitar. This is what Buddy Holly played. So, pretty famous guitar. The electronics in here are stock LR bags, pickups, and to be honest, I'm not a big fan. I've had $200 guitars that I thought sounded a little bit better, hence the Ibanez Artwood series. I wish I still had it, but I sold it. Yeah, so I'd say this guitar, plugged in direct, is a little bit overstated. Very nice warm sound in the room. So between the two, I don't know what you guys think, but I actually like the Jazzmaster over this. So in my quest to find the perfect guitar to play live, I also bought the new Martin Macassar Special X series. It's actually made of ebony. The neck is compressed ebony and the body is like a laminate. So very interesting. We're going to see what that sounds like compared to this guitar. Alright, this baby is pretty impressive for the price. You can get these brand new as low as $400 if you find them on sale. It is just incredible. I mean, the back of the neck is gorgeous. I know it's laminate and people are like, oh, you know, gotta have a solid body guitar. But man, this thing feels great and it's really quite impressive. It does lack some of the mid-range warmth of the Gibson, but I mean, it's got Fishman pickups and arguably, I mean, it sounds at least as good as that plugged in direct or better. So I started out on this quest because I always hated the way my Gibson sounded live. I love it for recordings. I've used it on all of my albums lately, but I just hated the sound live. I don't know why it sounds so bad. I don't know if it's the pickups or what. So then I tried this, and it was a slight improvement. I even saw Foo Fighters play live once in Chicago in the Aragorn Ballroom, and he was playing a big Gibson Jumbo, and I thought, oh, I can't wait until they start playing this. This is going to sound amazing. And it sounded just like my guitar. But along comes the Fender Acoustasonic Jazzmaster. And for my money, I think it's the most versatile thing to play live. To get you an idea of what this guitar can do live, let's listen to a few of the other acoustic guitar tones. First, I'm going to let you hear that Rosewood Dreadnought setting again, so you can get it in your head and compare the others to it. Now, what if I want to switch to a Mahogany Jumbo sound? All I got to do is flip this switch. All right, now let's try a Rosewood Auditorium guitar. I'm from the school of Foo Fighters rock, so I kind of beat the crap out of my guitar. So you hear a little bit of clicking, and I can try to play a little lighter, like a normal person would play. Now this setting is a lo-fi piezo. We also have a Fat Strat electric guitar on here. All right, there's 5 more settings if you turn this knob the other way. And you can actually blend the two to make infinite possibilities. So while I can't go through every tone combination, I can give you a sense of what every modeled sound would sound like. So we're back to electric guitars here. This is the Fender Overdriven sound. Play some punk rock or whatever you want on this thing. You're probably wondering why that sounds so muddy, and I have no idea. Yeah, it sounds like an electric guitar, but it's very, very dark. I've grown to like it for some things, but to be honest, I just don't think it's going to stand up to a Fender Stratocaster or a Fat Strat. So it's cool, but you can't do everything that you would want to do with this guitar electric-wise. The acoustic is very versatile. I'm going to go into more detail on that in another video, should you buy this guitar, where I review some of the limitations a little bit more and the body itself, the construction and whatnot. So keep an eye out for that video. Now we're going to go on to Lo-Fi Piezo Crunch. probably starting to hate this song. Sorry about that. But wanted to play the same thing each time to give you a better baseline for tone comparison. So don't worry, you only have to hear me play that 3 more times. The next one is a body sensor pickup. I did not know that's what this setting was. I kind of liked it, but it's really designed for percussion, like... That was terrible, but you get the idea. So this is what it sounds like with actual guitar playing, rather than my bad percussion. All right, 2 more settings. This is an all mahogany small body guitar. So think like a parlor size guitar. It's going to be a lot smaller than that. And the final setting is a mahogany slope shoulder guitar, which is going to look like a dreadnought, but this area up here at the top is going to be much skinnier. All right, so I'm curious to see what your favorite sound was out of those 10. Mine is the very first one, the Rosewood Dreadnought, this one. It's big, it's bassy, it's very full. Now what's so interesting is I've always dreamed of owning a jumbo, still don't have one. So I thought, before I knew what the different settings were from my ear, I heard this one and I thought, oh, that's my favorite. It must be a jumbo, but it's not. It's a dreadnought. So, interesting. All right, guys, let me know in the comments which guitar you liked best. Did you like this, the American Fender Acoustasonic Jazzmaster? Did you like the Gibson J-45 Standard best? Or did you like the Martin X Series Special Macassar Ebony? I'm very curious to see what was your favorite and which one you would choose to play live. I would definitely choose the Acoustasonic here for that just for my use, but the only downside is the action's really low, which is good and bad. It's supposed to feel closer to an electric, but you saw how hard I strum and how choppy that can make, because you get some fret buzz and some things like that from just the strings being so close to the frets. So that's a downside, but in the recording world, this could also be a really cheap option for you if you do a lot of acoustic guitar recording, because if you want to get a guitar like this and you want to get several mics and mic it up and make it sound really big and full, well, you're looking at, between recording equipment and the guitar itself, like thousands of dollars of stuff just to get a good acoustic sound. But what if you had this thing and you just plugged it in and in addition, you could throw some nice fancy effects on that. So I actually will demo that for you right now. I'm going to throw on this the Chris Lord Alge guitar plugin from Waves. I'll play the exact same thing. See, the only challenge you would have is you can't get an organic room sound because you don't have a bunch of mics on this thing, and a mic at the back of the room, and a mic at the 12th fret, and a mic on the sound hole. You only have one track coming out of the direct here, and it's not XLR either, which bothers some people. But you do have the ability to throw that into some software and create that room sound inorganically through plugins. If you have really good reverb plugins and delays and compressors, you can make something that sounds pretty darn close to an expensive acoustic in a room. There's not been an option like that until this guitar, which is really cool. It opens up some doors. So that's going to cut like your investment down in half, at least, if you're recording with this guitar. Do you want to know if this guitar can actually replace your electric guitar? It's advertised that way. I'm going to make another video going into that. Does this actually compete with a Fender Stratocaster or a Gretsch or a Gibson Les Paul? And how is the craftsmanship on this guitar, and do I recommend it? I'll make another video on that. If you're not sick of my song I was playing yet, it is Strangers by Vandarth. My artist name is Vandarth. So look that up on YouTube. There's a lyric video there. Or Spotify. Look up Vandarth. I'm also on Apple Music and wherever it is you listen to music. So hope you enjoy that. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter under Vandarth. And we'll see you next time.
So are you with